the committee of the whole be abolished came about somewhat in that way also. It seems to me, and I really just don't know how to get there, but I believe that we are sincere in wanting to give the public the opportunity to participate in the process. But by killing the original legislation, we're not achieving anything. We are back to square one. It has happened in an ornery way, and I still believe that we all want the best, and we want the public to be able to participate in discussion. What's really we're struggling with now is, because of the confusion or in relation to the 3/5 or 4/5 and majority, that we have really kind of slid into a situation that isn't good in any case, because at this stage it's very clear that there is a sentiment that the public should have the opportunity to participate in public hearings. That has been my position all the way along the line, that they should. But adopting a change on the fly, which is basically what we're doing, is not helping the whole situation particularly either. We've run into challenges with our own rules because of the way that there's a quirk there. I wish I had a solution as to how to salvage this, that we do not have the full legislation die, and at the same time have an opportunity for the public to have input, and for all of us to really seriously consider what would be the best thing to do. Clearly we need legislation, new legislation, in relation to public hearings. How we get there has been awfully, awfully messy. And I don't know whether there is any way of mending it tonight. We've got ourselves into such a quagmire here. Basically, as I understand it now, either we vote to have the I'm even confused at this stage. If we vote a yes or no, simple majority on this, where are we at? Yeah, we're going to get the new rule. If we don't vote 50%, so that changes the rule. I don't know. It's just somehow it would, if we could, at this stage I really think that we do need a referral on it, but can we do the referral? Can we do the referral and keep the existing legislation alive?
Well, right now we're considering an appeal of the ruling of the chair, so is there any further discussion on the appeal of the ruling of the chair? The chair recognizes a council member from the 17th district.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding your position, because on the one hand, I thought I heard you say you agreed with the city attorney, but on the other hand, I thought I heard you say it would not pass without a 2/3 majority. So the 2/3 majority, if you're requiring that, and I personally don't have a big problem with it, but if you're requiring that, that's not the same thing as the attorney said, I don't believe.
That is the same thing that the attorney said, and we can hear from him. The attorney ruled that to reconsider, it takes a simple majority vote, but it still requires a 2/3 majority vote to ultimately adopt. So Councilmember Farmer is right that in effect you are changing a council rule with a simple majority vote, but you know, our rules as they're currently written, I agree with the opinion of the city attorney, allow us to do that. Okay, Mr. City Attorney, would you like to offer an opinion on this?
What's the question?
Well, council member from the 17th district would like you to confirm that my ruling is in accordance with your opinion, that this requires a 2/3 majority vote to be adopted. If it does not receive a 2/3 majority vote, this legislation is dead at that point.
The opinion of the legal department was that after you had reconsidered the legislation was back before you, therefore it was no longer effective in its primary form. That was the essence of a reconsideration. Therefore, if you did get this 2/3 supermajority, then the legislation as currently amended tonight would be effective. If you did not obtain the 2/3 supermajority, you would not be able to go back to what was there previously in the previous month. To the rule prior to the legislation currently at issue being introduced.
And I concur with that opinion.
I don't agree with Mr. Matty's interpretation, but at least there's a thread of logic there. I don't agree with it. I will, if Mrs. Richmond wants to refer, point out that this now would be eligible for referral because it is substantially different legislation because of Mr. Meidinger's amendment. And so if she really wanted to refer it, there's your golden opening.
The chair recognizes the council member from the 14th district. And if there is no objection, I'll remove the appeal from the floor. Seeing no objection, the appeal is removed from the floor. The chair recognizes the council member from the 14th district.
Thank you. I just wanted to point it out, unless we were all planning to not sign petitions for people to speak, this really isn't going to change anything from what we had, except it's going to take the burden off the public from having to get the 5 signatures. And we have heard from the public over the past month. So unless we were all planning to not sign those, or not give our signatures, this is not going to be a drastic change. So, thank you.
The chair recognizes the council member from the 1st district.
This is my golden opportunity, Your Honor. I would like to refer this to the next council cycle.
Motion on the floor is to refer this for 30 days to the next council cycle. If there is no discussion on referral, the chair recognizes the council member from the 9th district.
Your Honor, question for the city attorney: is the referral is a referral in order here? Thank you.
Is there other discussion on the motion on the floor to refer for 30 days? If there is no discussion, please cast your votes.
Four, 5, 9, 14, 15, 16, and 17.
The motion is carried. All right, on to the second item on the agenda. Chair recognizes the council member from the 17th district.
There's no reason for other council members to be aware of this, but I am very aware of the fact that whenever I introduce these agendas, we start off with a real roaring. I mean, this happens more often when I do this. So I think we ought to change something here, but that'd be the case. So is number 3 then something we are considering, Your Honor?
That's the prerogative of this council here. What is the pleasure? Or if you could read the caption for us first.
It's a resolution amending Council Rules 5 regarding standing committees.
What is the pleasure of the council? Is that for 30 days? I'm sorry. Okay. All right, well, in order to refer this, you'll first need to reconsider. Motion on the floor is to reconsider. If there is no discussion, please cast your votes.
Eight, 11, 12, 13, and 16.
Is that for 30 days? All right, motion on the floor is to refer for 30 days. If there is no discussion, please cast your votes. Motion is carried. Council member from the 17th district.
Thank you, Your Honor. Number 4, I have the 2012 bills paid in October, and number 5, estimates paid in October.
What's the pleasure of the council? If there is no discussion, please cast your votes. Motion on the floor is to adopt. Motion is carried. Chair will recognize the council member from the 16th district.
I have number 6, appointments by the mayor, Board of Electrical Examiners, David Stokes, 1225 Siler Lane, International Committee, Soji Jang, 1224 Pine Street, Onalaska, Diane Withers, 119 24th Street North, Redevelopment Authority, 4/5 vote required, Stephen Loomis, 2309 Kane Street.
All right, there's a request for a separate roll call on item 6 for the last one. So first we will take the appointment to the Redevelopment Authority. If there is no discussion on the appointment to the Redevelopment Authority, please cast your votes on that appointment.
No, that's no.
Nope, this is on the last one. The appointment to the Redevelopment Authority. Okay, you can just vote the way that you want. It does not need to clear. You push the button again if you want to change your vote, but for some reason you can't do that tonight. And that's what Audrey's having. Well, the clerk here says that it is changing. We're still waiting for 2 votes.
Seven, 13. Number 7 and 9 abstained.
All right, the motion has failed. Okay, is there any objection to allowing the council president to be marked as a no vote? I'm sorry?
It wasn't here. It was the redevelopment authority.
That is correct. Okay, if there's no objection, please allow the council member from the 10th and 11th district to be marked as a no vote.
Your Honor, is that for the last party, Mr. Lewis, or is it?
That's for the last one only, the redevelopment authority. All right, if there's no objection, the council members from the 10th, 11th, and 13th will be marked as a no vote.
I would also like that change.
And the 3rd district. Is there any objection to 10th, 11th, 13th, and 3rd district? There's no objection. Those members will be marked as a no vote. Motion has failed. All right, please cast your votes on the appointments prior to that. Now, the Board of Electrical Examiners, the International Committee.
Speaking now.
That's it. On the remainder of the appointments, please cast your votes. Motion is carried.
Okay, an ordinances recommended for adoption. Number 7, an ordinance to amend subsection 8.02, parent N of the Code of Ordinances of the City of La Crosse regarding refuse container lids.
Is there discussion on this item? Chair will recognize the council member from the 8th district.
If you're for the City of La Crosse, if you're for cleaning up the City of La Crosse, you will vote no on this. That there's been a great deal of deliberation and thought put into having lids on containers and cleaning up this city. Vote no.
Chair will recognize the council president.
I can't let this one go. I fully want to see the city of La Crosse cleaned up. However, that we are working on a new contract. Every container is going to have lids. They're going to be substantial containers, And putting, it's just one token of listening to the public and not putting them through the mill just for the sake of a lid on their container. If they would just keep their garbage tidy, that would be great. Thank you.
Chair, recognize the council member from the 5th District.
Thank you. I guess I have a question more about this. Now, when residents do not have a trash lid on their cans, are they notified or given a warning before they're given a fine? Is there any sort of process for that?
Mr. Public Works Director.
If there is a fine levied, it would be $100 plus the cost for processing. We're not necessarily out going down every street and stopping at every house that doesn't have lids on. They're dealing with the more serious issues of non-compliance, so they're not necessarily out strictly enforcing containers not having lids, but if a container does not have a lid, they could be susceptible to getting a citation, yes.
Chair, recognize the council member from the 8th District.
First, a question to Mr. Hexum. Is it not true that our inspection department and our recycling director first try to write a warning ticket? It's not a warning ticket. It's an order to correct. And that how many? Just do you recall off the top of your head how many citations we have issued in this sort of thing? It's about zip, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's very few citations have been given for garbage violations. That the intent of this city, the practice of this city has been using the carrot to encourage compliance, to encourage people to do this. There are a few people who don't get the message. If you come to a Board of Public Works meeting, well, every Monday morning, you can see photos of some people who just don't understand that you got to clean up a little bit. And they have horrible messes. And that's what this is for. That the little old lady on South 8th Street isn't going to get fined $170 if she doesn't have the lid on. She's going to be encouraged to get a lid on it. And it's about time we clean up. The problems, if you haven't been paying attention, the problems in this city of garbage are tremendous. And this is one of the steps that we have to do to clean up this place. There are just some people who do not understand and that they have to have Mr. Hexum put a lid on it.
Chair, recognize the council member from the 6th District.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm all for having our city a clean city, but I also think it's a very hard problem to find a place that actually sells you just lids. You have to buy the whole trash can. So unless you could send out information to the general public, let people know where they can buy lids for their trash cans, or they steal them from the neighbor or something, but I mean, that's something that has to be looked at too. Thank you.
Chair, recognize the council member from the 10th District.
I'm going to regret this, but Mr. Satori, you can go on the internet, Amazon, and get all the lids you want, no big deal. Also, according to the internet, you can go to Home Depot because they throw out lids there because most landscaping firms only want the can and not the lid. So it isn't, I was concerned on it. It isn't quite the problem that you think it is. Also, I remember the good old days when if you had a derelict can, the refuse people would relieve you of it and leave you a lid. And so that all seemed to work out real well there. Nowadays, they don't take your beat up cans and, they need to be retired. And they don't do that the way they used to. So unfortunately, sometimes you do end up with more cans than lids. But I would encourage the Department of Public Works to tell our refuse hauler when there's a can that should be retired, it ought to be retired.
All right, if there is no further discussion, motion on the floor is to adopt. If there's no other discussion, please cast your votes. Waiting for one vote.
6 noes, 5, 7, 8, 12, 13, and 17.
If there's no objection, to marking the council member from the 10th district as a no vote. Ms. Clerk, please mark him as a no vote. All right. The chair will recognize the council member from the 16th district.
Number 8, an ordinance to create section 13.01 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of La Crosse, airport height overlay zoning and land use regulations.
If there is no discussion, please cast your votes. Motion is carried.
And number 9, an ordinance to amend subsection 15.02 parent B of the Code of Ordinances of the City of La Crosse, transferring certain property from the low-density multiple dwelling district to the traditional neighborhood district, allowing for commercial and residential use at 404, 408, 410, 412, and 414 Jackson Street, and 1209 4th Street South.
If there is no discussion, please cast your votes. Motion is carried.
Number 10, an ordinance to amend subsection 15.02 parent B of the Code of Ordinances of the City of La Crosse, transferring certain property from the heavy industrial district to the planned development district general, allowing for mixed-use development incorporating both residential and commercial at 606 George Street, 1319 and 1325 St. Andrew Street.
There's no discussion. Please cast your votes. Motion is carried. The chair will recognize the council member from the 15th district.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Number 11, an ordinance to amend subsection 15.02B of the Code of Ordinances, City of La Crosse, transferring certain property from single-family residence district to public and semi-public district, allowing for continued use of a community garden and storage shed at 903 and 913 Kane Street.
There's no discussion. Please cast your votes. Motion is carried.
Number 12, an ordinance to amend subsection 1502B of the Code of Ordinances, City of La Crosse, transferring certain property from the planned development district specific to the planned development district specific, allowing for covered decks or four-season rooms to the single-family condos at 4500 through 4518 Lexington Heights Drive.
There's no discussion. Please cast your votes. Motion is carried.
13, an ordinance to repeal section 15.19 of the Code of Ordinances, City of La Crosse, airport overlay zoning regulations.
There's no discussion. Please cast your votes. Motion is carried.
Number 14, an amended ordinance to amend subsection 20.27 I-8 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of La Crosse regarding beer garden hours for Class D licenses.
There's no discussion. Please cast your votes. Motion is carried.
And number 15 is a report of a bid, in quotes. Report of bids and resolution awarding contract to Four Seasons Landscaping and Maintenance in the amount of $4,980 for 2012 miscellaneous downtown streetscaping repairs trees.
There's no discussion. Please cast your votes. Motion is carried. The chair will recognize the council member from the 14th district.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have number 16, the final report of bids and quotes recommended to be adopted. Report of bids and resolution awarding contract to K&M Excavating LLC in the amount of $31,450 for dredging of Vietnam Veterans Pond at Chad Erickson Memorial Park. Items recommended to be adopted. Number 17, Resolution granting various license applications pursuant to Chapter 20 of the La Crosse Municipal Code for the license period 2012 through 13. Number 18, request of Rivoli Theater Incorporated doing business as Rivoli Theater to expand combination Class B beer and liquor license at 117 4th Street North, and resolution approving same. Number 19, resolution approving application of Catherine and William Bittner to own, keep, and/or harbor chickens at 1027 Charles Street, and resolution approving same. And number 20, resolution approving application of David Percy to own, keep, and/or harbor chickens at 2240 Sunset Lane, and resolution approving same. And that's all I have.
There's no discussion. Please cast your votes. Motion is carried. The chair will recognize a council member from the 13th district.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We got items recommended to be adopted. Number 21, request of GCR Tire Center for a waiver of paving requirements for property located at 500 3rd Street South, and resolution approving same. 22, amended resolution rescinding 1995 resolution relating to sublease of garage located in Riverside Park and authorized use of the garage for storage for the City of La Crosse Park and Rec Department. Number 23, resolution approving standard identity and access agreement for the police and fire departments to allow them to enter into agreements regarding rescue and training drills. And number 24, continuing with items recommended to be adopted, resolution authorizing memorandum of understanding regarding transportation planning between the Minnesota Department of Transportation, the La Crosse Area Planning Committee, and the La Crosse Municipal Transit Utility. And lastly, number 25, resolution approving final plat of Gunderson Lutheran Medical Center to the City of La Crosse.
If there's no discussion, please cast your votes. The motion is carried. The chair will recognize a council member from the 12th district.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have more items recommended to be adopted. Number 26, and this requires a 2/3 vote, resolution accepting the proposed long-range plan for City Hall grounds and directing the Board of Public Works to prepare a final plan incorporating council member comments.
A motion on the floor is to suspend the rules for item 26. If there is no discussion on the suspension of the rules, do we get a second for that?
Why do we suspend? No, it needs a 2/3 vote. This needs a 2/3 vote. It just needs a separate vote.
We gotta decide what this means.
Terry. Just.
Okay. All right, the reason that this is marked as requiring a 2/3 vote by the council to suspend Council Rule 8, our council rules require that any legislation be submitted to the legal office and the finance office for review prior to introduction, and this resolution did not meet that requirement. It was not submitted to the legal office and the finance office for review. So, in order to adopt it, you will need a 2/3 vote to suspend the rules. We have a motion to suspend the rules. Did we get a second? Motion on the floor is to suspend the rules. Mr. Council Member from the 17th District, would you like to speak on the motion?
I think this would be appropriate. My question is essentially about the resolution, which says the council is accepting a plan for City Hall grounds, and has the council reviewed the plans for City Hall?
Well, we got some people nodding their head no, but this plan should have been submitted when this was introduced last month.
My concern is Board of Public Works has put a hold on some things because we felt, I think correctly so, that the final plan for this building and the appearance of it outside would be something the